Breaking news now. Pro-coup protesters in Niger chant "Long live Putin" as the country's new leaders face pressure to step down. On Sunday, thousands of people who support a military coup demonstrated outside the French embassy in Niger, voicing their displeasure with French influence in the country. Supporters of Russian President Vladimir Putin demonstrated in spite of calls from the Kremlin to release Mohamed Bazoum, the president elected in a free and fair election. Anti-embassy demonstrators stomped on a plaque identifying the building, then replaced it with Russian and Nigerian flags. There were cries of "Down with France" and "Long live Putin" among the crowds. Tear gas was used by Nigerian security forces in an effort to disperse the demonstrators. People were pictured attempting to start a fire outside the compound in one of the photos taken at the scene. The French government has threatened anyone who attacks French citizens or French facilities in Niger with swift retaliation, according to President Emmanuel Macron's office. Members of the Niger Presidential Guard overthrew Bazoum and installed a military junta called the National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland, which has been widely condemned by the international community. Since gaining independence from France in 1960, Niger has had a history of military coups, though the country's political stability has improved in recent years. In 2021, when Bazoum took office, it was the first peaceful transition of power in the country's history. On Sunday, ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, issued a statement demanding Bazoum's immediate release and reinstatement. With the junta still in power, the group threatened to take all measures necessary to restore constitutional order in the Republic of Niger, which could include the use of force. Closing land and air borders with Niger was among the many punitive measures announced by ECOWAS. The group has stated that they will not accept Bazoum's, whom they hold as a hostage, resignation in any form. France and the European Union have previously stated that they would back ECOWAS sanctions against the junta. Both had decided to stop providing money to Niger. In their eastern neighbor Chad, Niger's military leaders may have found an ally. According to a source close to the Nigerian military, Chadian President Mahamat Idris Deby Itno was in the capital city of Niamey on Sunday, where he was photographed with a key figure in the putsch. There is no ECOWAS representation from Chad. We will succeed in removing France from Africa. For over 50 years, Niger was a colony of France. It didn't gain its independence until 1860. Even though diplomatic ties between the two countries were solid prior to Thursday's putsch, many in Niger believe that France is still using its imperial power to steal the country's natural resources and dictate economic policy. Hundreds of millions of dollars are donated annually to Niger because it is one of the world's poorest countries. Niger has been through enough at French hands. One of the protesters, Karamal Sidi, said, "I've been unemployed for 10 years because of their system. Say it with me now, we want freedom." A university student named Hadiza Kanto who came to the demonstration said he supported the coup leaders because they are against France who robbed us all. "We're going to get France out of Africa," Kanto vowed. Russia has made efforts in recent years to increase its sway across the African continent by capitalizing on anti-colonial sentiment. Although attendance at Thursday's Africa-Russia summit in St. Petersburg was significantly lower than in years past, likely as a result of the conflict in Ukraine, 17 African heads of state still made the trip. There has long been a movement in the region that opposes France and supports Russia. The military government of Burkina Faso, for example, recently demanded the withdrawal of French troops from the country, a trend that has been observed in several Sahel countries over the past few years.